In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use line spacing in Google Docs. Now, in the last lesson, we talked about how styles aren't really used too often, and the same goes for line spacing. A lot of people don't find it very useful, but altering the line spacing can really make it easier or less easier to read the text. So, let's get straight into it. The first part of this lesson is going to learn the basics of line spacing and how to change some of those options. So, in this first section, we want to change the line spacing to double. So that means double the amount of spacing that you would normally have. So all we have to do is select the text. We're going to go up to the line spacing option here, and it's its own individual group. And if I click on it, it's going to give me a drop down with all the different options. So as you can see here, double is a preset which we can choose. So I'm just going to click on it now. And you can see that the space between each line has increased times 2. It's double the line spacing. Now next, we want to change it to 1.38. So it's a very unique number. So again, I'm going to select it and go back down to the drop down, but there is no preset for 1.38. So we're going to have to use some custom spacing. So let's click on custom spacing, and now we have a pop-up. So we can see under line spacing, and we have a little box to type our own number. So I'm just going to type in 1.38 and then click apply. Now you can see it's applied the exact line spacing that I want, 1.38. So it's a bit smaller than 2 and a bit larger than 1. Now the next section, we're going to start looking at adding spacing before and after paragraphs. So all that's going to do, it's exactly what it says. It's going to add some space before the paragraph we select or after it. So first, with this section, we want to add some space before. So I'm going to select it again, go back into line spacing, and we have some preset options, space before and space after. So we're just going to add some space before, and that's basically it, just a little bit of space before the paragraph, just to make things a bit more easier to read. Next, we're going to do the same, except after the paragraph. We're going to select it again, go into line spacing, the line spacing drop down, and then click add space after paragraph. And again, does the same thing, just after. Now, in this final part of this section, we're going to choose some custom spacing before and after the paragraph. So again, we're going to select it, and then we're going to go back down to the drop down. And again, there is no preset option for these specific numbers. So we have to go back into the custom spacing. And below our line spacing options, we have the paragraph spacing. And we can add some numbers for each. So before, we want 6, and after, we want 4. So we're just going to enter in those options and click apply. And there we go. So those options have been added. Now it's just a small difference, but you can see it there. Now the final section of this lesson is custom spacing. So we're going to put all the stuff that we learned into 2 different sections. So the first, we want to change the line spacing to 1.5 and add some spacing before the paragraph. So I'm going to select it, go into my line spacing drop down, select 1.5, go back and add space before. And that's basically it, 1.5 line spacing and some space before the paragraph. Now this final section, we want to add some custom spacing before and a custom line spacing. So I'm going to select it again, go back into my drop down, and because all of these are custom, I'm going to have to go into custom spacing. So I'm going to select a line spacing of 1.85, the paragraph spacing before of 4, and 8 for after. And then click apply. And there we go, all my options have been applied. So those are all the options that we have with line spacing. Now make sure to use the lesson materials and try this yourself, and it's a great way to change how easy it is to read your text. So I'll see you in the next lesson.